This is Grand Central Station at night, and you can see just the beautiful architecture ahead. And it's a little dark, but still it allows for the better highlighting of the entire Grand Central Station. This was built like in the early 1900s, just beautiful. And Penn Station was actually just like this. However, Penn Station was torn down in the 60s, and that's what made a lot of people very upset. You can see just the beautiful architecture here. Like if you just take a little closer look, you can see how it's just magnificent the way it's designed. And there we'll take a little closer look. And this is what makes people really fascinated with this whole Grand Central Station. Even inside, it's just fantastic. And you can see here from the stores and people just waiting. And like even though it looks like this, it's there's even more inside too for people to go. And this is all connected. Like when you look at this, you kind of say, okay, it's just this, but no, it's not. Actually, you have the MetLife Tower in the background that also runs underneath. The Grand Central runs underneath there. And the trains actually run even further. It's like all along Park Avenue, there'll be trains. And Park Avenue was built over the train tracks. And this, for example, right next door is a Hyatt Hotel. That was one of Donald Trump's earliest projects. His father, as a graduation gift, gave Donald Trump $25 million. Donald Trump used that to buy these buildings that are here and cover them with this glass. And these are actually brick buildings covered with glass, and he made this into a Hyatt. But that was one of his first successful projects. And as you see, this is right next to the beautiful Grand Central Station. And even inside, when you go inside, it's just magnificent inside with everything inside. Like we'll just take a little walk right around, and we'll see like there's a bridge that allows Park Avenue to go from on the other side of Grand Central to Grand Central itself. So this is where a lot of people like to make their commute. For a lot of people who live in Westchester, New York, which is the northern suburbs of New York, they actually come here. And one of the determining factors for them is for them to be working on the east side of Manhattan. So that allows them to come directly in. And what also is very interesting is there's a number of people who live in Manhattan who have chosen to live in Manhattan and go to work in Westchester. That again is the northern suburbs of New York. It's very popular for a lot of people to do that because it's just the reverse commute. They prefer to be living in New York, or Manhattan, even though it's a little more expensive, because then when the weekend comes, they don't have to worry about coming into the city. They could just be right here. And I've seen a number of instances when people have chosen to do that. So we'll just take a quick look from the other side too here. You know, like we had just walked from here along 42nd Street to see the other part of Grand Central. This is Grand Central here. You know, you can see the beautiful view, just a little bit different light. So then we'll walk around, and we'll end up seeing just the other side of Grand Central, just to show everyone how large it is, because it is very, very large. And this is a key part of the city. And even though it's not as key as Times Square, it's a very nice business district. And a lot of people really like living in this area. And also working in this area. There's a lot of office space around here. And that's just because it's very, very convenient for transportation. And for a lot of people in New York, time is money. And so they prefer having things that are very close by. And you can see how in the evening, it's a little less busy than it might be otherwise. So again, we're just taking another look at Grand Central. And you can see how it's there, but it actually extends back to here. Because if you go inside, you'll see it extending under there and allowing exits to that building and to the other street on the other side, to 43rd Street and then to 44th Street. So it's a little bit interesting to see how it works out, but it works out. You can see how everyone is here you know, how the crowds are here. And these are not big crowds. Even though you might be looking at it and saying these are really big crowds, no. During the daytime, there are a lot more people that are here. It's just like so crowded. So one thing about New York is you have to be used to being around a lot of people all the time. And you just get used to it after a while. It becomes like second nature. And you can see how there's all these tall buildings. Well, what happens is, you know, mile after mile or kilometer after kilometer, when you go by the tall buildings, you start to not pay attention to them and just, you start to get tunnel vision and just focus on what's ahead. And even for the great sites like this, you'll be amazed at how many New Yorkers really don't pay attention to the magnificent architecture of the buildings in their city because they're very busy with their jobs, with their lives. And I'm just doing this just to show the people who might be interested in seeing Grand Central a different aspect of Grand Central, seeing what things are like in New York on a summer day.